Eu vou levar todo o dinheiro que tem aí no caixa. Isso é mais vazio do que parece.
Have you ever seen chaos begin because of a single light bulb? Well, in Springfield. All it took was one eco-friendly idea to turn the whole town into a battlefield. And literally open a crack at the bottom of the ocean. Yes, we're talking about an episode where political rage creates giant monsters. Welcome to the fury of information. The moment when the Simpsons decided to prove that the internet is the true modern apocalypse. It all starts harmlessly enough. Mayor Quimby calls a public meeting, and Lisa Ever, the voice of reason, suggests distributing lead bulbs to every citizen. A simple, sustainable idea that in any normal town would earn applause. But in Springfield, it's the perfect spark for disaster. Within seconds, the crowd splits in two. On one side, people praising innovation. On the other, folks convinced that leadzis are part of a globalist plot to control their minds. The town hall turns into a shouting match, and the debate gets so heated it's like the walls might melt from pure rage as the argument spreads across social media. The city's negative energy reaches absurd levels, and that's when the impossible happens. A giant rift opens deep in the ocean, and out emerge two colossal kaiju. The red monster and the blue monster. Each one represents an opposing ideology, and both immediately start tearing through Springfield to prove they're more right. It's political debate turned into Godzilla-level destruction. Panic takes over the city. Buildings collapse! Cars fly through the air. And instead of running for their lives, people are too busy posting about it online. Lisa watches in horror as she realizes that humanity's collective anger has literally taken monster form. Meanwhile, Professor Frink, ever the optimist, believes science can fix it. He unveils his latest invention, a giant robot designed to be piloted by two synchronized siblings, inspired by those classic Mika anime shows. He's theory. If people can work together, they can overcome hatred. Of course, this is Springfield, so everything immediately goes wrong. Bart and Lisa volunteer, or more accurately, stumble into the cockpit. From the start, it's chaos. They argue over every control, hit random buttons, and somehow crush Otto by accident. Yes, the school. Bus driver gets flattened in the crossfire. Another totally normal day in Springfield. But when the monsters reach downtown, Bart and Lisa finally realize they need to cooperate. The robot clumsily rises to its feet and confronts the kaiju in an explosive, city-shaking battle. Buildings crumble, lasers fire, and the townspeople watch the whole thing unfold while still arguing in comment sections. During the chaos, more creatures appear, monstrous avatars of the internet's worst corners. 4chan, Soros, Fasabugzilla, Mecharidi, and the terrifying Rogan. Each one represents a new wave of online toxicity. Born from outrage and endless debate, Lisa tries to make sense of it all, while Bart just wants to smash things. After a series of ridiculous yet epic moves, the siblings finally defeat the two main monsters. The robot stands victorious, and Bart and Lisa deliver a message to the citizens. Calm down, stop hating each other, and maybe, just maybe, log off social media before new monsters appear. For a moment, it seems like Springfield has learned its lesson. People hug. The news talks about unity, and the sky finally clears. But since this is The Simpsons, the peace doesn't last long. 3 news cycles later, humanity's right back to arguing, and the monsters return, bigger and angrier than ever. Amid the ruins, only Bart and Lisa survive inside the broken robot. They sit quietly, watching the destruction. Lisa sighs and says it all started because of a light bulb. Bart smirks and replies, well, at least the power bill is gonna be low. It's the end of civilization, the fall of logic, and the ultimate victory of digital stupidity. And that's just the first act of this wild episode. If you ever thought Mr. Burns couldn't get imagine him living in a gothic mansion, running a syrup factory, and being haunted by the ghosts of every worker he ever underpaid. Yep, welcome to the fall of the House of Monty. The Simpsons' twisted tribute to Victorian horror and corporate guilt. It's Thanksgiving in this dark, alternate Springfield, set in what looks like the late 1800s. The camera pans through a gloomy, fog-filled landscape until we arrive at Burns' and excellent corn syrup Co. Inside, exhausted workers are finishing another grueling shift. Lenny, Carl, Mo, and even Willie are part of the crew, sweating over vats of syrup that bubble like molten gold. Their boss? The ever-miserable Mr. Monty Burns, who treats them like disposable cogs in his sweet, sticky the workday should be over. But of course, Burns has one last team-building activity. He summons his employees to his mansion for a Thanksgiving competition. And naturally, it's something absurdly cruel. The challenge. Whoever wins the wishbone toss earns the privilege of joining him for dinner. The losers, well, they can watch from the cold. The workers reluctantly agree. Burns smirks from his candlelit dining hall, his shadows stretching across the floor like something out of a Poe story. Smithers announces the contestants, and the grotesque little event begins. Bone snap, laughter echoes, and against all odds, Willie the groundskeeper wins. He beams with pride, ready to finally eat something that isn't syrup fumes. But Burns, being Burns, can't stand seeing someone else happy. He casually tosses the Thanksgiving dinner straight into a deep pit beneath the mansion, right where poor Mo accidentally falls to his doom. His scream fades into darkness, followed by a sickening splash. The guests are horrified. And that's when Agnes, Mo's furious ex-wife, appears in spectral form. Hovering in the corner, she warns Burns that he's doomed. You've broken your promise of gratitude, she hisses. From this night on, you'll be haunted by the souls you've exploited. Burns laughs it off, brushing off ghost stories like bad stock tips. But oh, he should have listened. Later that night, back at the factory, Homer, portrayed here as another weary worker, is starving. He sneaks into the syrup vats, hoping to steal just a taste. Biggie mistake! He slips, falls in, and is boiled alive in a sticky, golden horror scene. That looks straight out of Final Destination! Candy Edition! His screams echo through the factory as he accidentally pulls a release chain, flooding the entire floor with molten syrup. Within moments, every remaining worker is gone, consumed by the very product they made. Cut to Burns, still in his mansion, reading by candlelight, blissfully unaware. The silence grows heavy, until the ghosts begin to appear. Transparent figures flicker in and out of view, knocking over furniture and whispering his name. The mansion trembles. Burns' reflection in the mirror morphs into the faces of his dead workers, and he finally starts to panic. Then comes the real terror. Mo's ghost materializes, face twisted in revenge, and pushes Burns over the balcony. He crashes right onto Agnes, killing her instantly. A darkly funny twist. She spent her afterlife warning him, only to die again under him. Classic Simpsons irony! As Burns crawls away, limping and coughing, the ghosts surround him. Every step he takes, the walls close in. He tries to bribe them, offers them jewels, gold, and of course, free syrup for eternity. But the ghosts refuse. What they want isn't wealth, it's justice. Feed us your soul, Mo's ghost demands, his voice echoing like thunder. In desperation, Burns grabs a candelabra and accidentally sets his curtains ablaze. Within seconds, the entire mansion is engulfed in flames. Ghostly laughter fills the halls as the structure collapses. Burns' screams fade into crackling firelight, and the scene cuts to black. The next morning, Smithers and Sideshow Mel arrive at the charred ruins. The sun rises weakly through the smoke, and the air still smells like burnt sugar and regret. They find a single portrait of Burns, half burned, staring back at them with those cold, greedy eyes. Smithers sighs. He really did it this time, he sees softly. Mel nods and adds, "We'll call it Black Friday a day to remind everyone not to mistreat workers, no matter how good the sales are." The camera pulls back as the ashes of the mansion scatter into the wind. The haunting melody of a music box plays, fading into silence. The fall of the House of Monty ends, not just as a horror story, but as a grimly funny commentary on greed, guilt, and how karma eventually comes for everyone, even billionaires made of dust and syrup. And that's only the second part of this bizarre triple feature episode. You'd think Springfield would get a break after killer ghosts. But next up, the chaos goes intergalactic. Springfield has officially surrendered to chaos. The moment Bart's spoiler boy powers hit the internet, things spiral out of control faster than comic book guy running out of nacho cheese. Entire movie studios panic. Fans are deleting social media, hiding in basements, and praying they won't stumble across Bart's next post. And meanwhile, Bart, he's living the dream. Or rather, the spoiler dream. Suddenly, he's being interviewed by late-night shows, and even Kent Brockman tries to report on him without accidentally revealing spoilers. We tried to interview Spoiler Boy, Kent says on live TV. But he ruined my favorite show halfway through the conversation. Bart becomes a symbol, half menace, half legend, online. He's trending under hashtags like hashtag spoiler apocalypse and hashtag justice for surprises. People are terrified to check their phones. Meanwhile, at home, Marge is horrified. She's tried everything. Grounding, cutting off Wi-Fi, even confiscating Bart's phone. But he always finds a way. Marge, it's not just a phase, says Lisa, observing him like a scientist studying a monster she accidentally helped create. It's a cultural phenomenon. Homer, as usual, doesn't see the problem. He proudly wears a t-shirt that sees my son spoiled my movie. And all I got was this lousy shirt. But deep Dome Bart starts to feel something off. His fun isn't hitting the same anymore. The thrill of dropping spoilers starts to fade when he notices his friends Martin, even Nelson, aren't laughing anymore. They avoid him, whispering, "Don't say anything near Bart. He'll ruin the ending." Even the bullies give him side-eye. Springfield Elementary becomes a spoiler-free zone. Principal Skinner sets up spoiler lockers at the entrance. Students have to declare any spoilers before entering class. Lisa, ever the voice of reason, confronts him. But power without control destroys everything around you, she warns. Bart shrugs it off, but her words linger. That night, he scrolls through his fan page, full of memes and chaos. And for the first time, he doesn't laugh. The next morning, things take a darker turn. Bart wakes up to see the local theater chain has shut down every movie screening in Springfield. Until the spoiler menace is contained, the sign reads, crowds protest outside his house, chanting, "No more spoilers." Reporters swarm the Simpsons lawn. Chief Wiggum arrives to arrest Bart for crimes against storytelling. It's all chaos, but to Bart, it feels like the end of something big. That's when a shadowy figure appears. The director of the superhero movie, Bart Spoiled. A famous Hollywood mogul with slick hair, sunglasses, and the dramatic tone of someone who says cinematic universe too often. He introduces himself as Max Maverick, and he's furious. "Kid," he says, "you've cost me millions in box office sales. But maybe I can use you." He offers Bart a deal. Join his studio as a consultant for predicting audience reactions or face legal destruction. Bart, of course, loves the attention, but soon realizes Max doesn't care about him. He just wants to control the chaos Bart created. "You're not a villain, Bart," Max sneers. "You're a marketing strategy." Feeling used, Bart rebels. He leaks every secret Max ever told him about upcoming movies, this time not for fun, but to expose manipulation and greed. Springfield cheers him as a hero again, calling him Spoiler Boy, the truth teller. But the celebration is short. As the dust settles, Bart sits on the roof of his house, watching the city slowly recover. The world may have gotten its secrets back, but he knows something's changed. Lisa joins him with a gentle sigh. "You know," she says. "Sometimes knowledge is the real spoiler." Bart chuckles. "Yeah, guess I learned that the hard way." But then his phone buzzes. A new message pops up. "Coming soon. Spoiler Boy. The movie." Bart's eyes widen. "Wait, they made a movie about me." He smirks. "Well, I guess I'll just have to spoil it first." And with that mischievous grin, the screen fades to black The perfect cliffhanger for a kid who just can't resist ruining one more surprise. The world thought the spoiler crisis was over. Studios rebuilt. Springfield cinemas reopened, and the internet began to heal from the trauma of too many plot twists ruined. But just when peace seemed possible, Hollywood strikes back. Billboards appear overnight. Trailers flood YouTube. There it is! Spoiler Boy, the movie. A big-budget film about Bart's chaotic rise and fall, complete with explosions, emotional monologues, and, of course, a dramatic voiceover. In a world where secrets die, one boy dared to tell the truth. Bart can't believe it. They turned my life into a movie without paying me, without permission. He's outraged and maybe just a little flattered. Lisa rolls her eyes. You spoiled them first. Bart, karma's just catching up. But Bart doesn't see it that way. If anyone's gonna spoil me, it's gonna be me, he declares. And so begins his new mission, to spoil. Spoiler Boy. The movie before it even premieres, but this time, things aren't so easy. The studio has gone full lockdown. NDAs, encrypted servers, secret screenings, and drone patrols. Max Maverick, the director Bart once defied, has turned into a full-blown villain. Let's see you spoil this, Kid Max sneers during a live press conference. Undeterred, Bart forms a plan, a good old-fashioned heist. He ropes in Milhouse, Nelson, and even comic book guy, worst idea ever. But fine, I'm in. There, go. Break into the Springfield Cineplex. During the private premiere and leak the ending online, the night of the event arrives. Hollywood's elite floods Springfield. Celebrities, critics, and influencers strut down the red carpet, completely unaware that Spoiler Boy himself lurks in the shadows. Bart and his crew sneak in disguised as theater staff. Milhouse trembles carrying popcorn. Nelson handles security with a fake badge. Comic book guy hacks into the screening server. Everything's going smoothly until Lisa shows up. Barty, stop it. You can't keep living in this spoiler cycle forever, she pleads. Bart hesitates. Maybe she's right. But then Max Maverick appears on stage, grinning smugly. This movie will redeem Spoiler Boy, he announces. He learns his lesson, apologizes, and grows up. Audiences love redemption arcs. Bart's eyes widen. They made me. Nice. That's it. He storms into the theater mid-premiere, grabs the mic, and shouts, I'm here to spoil the spoiler. The crowd gasps. Camera's flesh. Max's jaw drops. Bart takes a deep breath and blurts out every major twist of the movie. Who betrays who? The emotional finale. Yvonne, the post-credit scene where Spoiler Boy joins the MC. It's total chaos. Fans scream. Reporters swarm. Mox faints. And Bart, for a moment, feels that old rush again. But then he looks around. Nobody's laughing. People are angry, disappointed, confused. Even his friends look deflated. He realizes it's not fun anymore. The thrill of spoiling isn't power. It's emptiness dressed as control. Lisa approaches quietly. You got your moment, Bart. What now? Bart sighs. Maybe I'll just let people enjoy things. The crowd hears it, and strangely, they cheer. The next day, Springfield buzzes with memes about Spoiler Boys. Last spoiler, some call him a menace. Others, a misunderstood artist. Max Maverick tries to sue him but ends up turning. Bart's outburst into a viral marketing campaign. No, publicity is bad publicity. Max says smugly as the film breaks box office records. Meanwhile, Bart's grounded for a month, but he doesn't seem to mind, sitting on the roof again. He gazes at the sunset with Lisa. Guess I spoiled my own movie, huh? He says, with a small laugh. Maybe that's the point, Lisa replies. Sometimes, knowing the ending makes the story better. For the first time, Bart's okay with not knowing what happens next. Maybe life's better with a few surprises left. He puts away his phone and looks at the stars. But then, buzz, his screen lights up with a mysterious message. Hey, Spoiler Boy. Heard you're out of the game. Want to preview something truly world-changing? Bart smirks. Hey, just one more. Cucci to black. The Simpsons theme fades in, with comic book guy's voice echoing faintly. Worst cliffhanger ever. And that's how another totally insane adventure in Springfield comes to an end. Bart became a full-on villain. The world collapsed because of spoilers. And in the end, he learned that not every secret should be told. Especially if that secret is that Homer's asleep on the couch. Again. But hey, unlike Bart, I want to share a secret with you. That big red button down there. It's not a nuclear bomb. It's the subscribe button. Click it so you Dan Timmy's the next episodes and all the crazy theories we bring straight from Springfield. Smash that like button if you survived this spoiler apocalypse. And drop a comment below. Are you Team Spoiler Boy or Team Protect the Ending? And, as Bart himself would say, if you don't subscribe, I'll spoil the next episode. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next Yellow Chaos from Springfield.